Hi, it's me, Wade, that mobile home guy, coming to you from the other side of the stop sign where pizza delivery fears to deliver. Yes, it's true, I live out in the sticks. Okay, so this weekend I was doing some research and I came across a transcript of like a roundtable question and answer thing with these mobile home investors, the bigwigs. And I'm not going to name any names. I actually found it because one of the guys that was part of it has a program about buying mobile homes on land. Actually, I think that's what the name of his program is called. Anyway, somebody asked a question about legal entities, and one of the guys said, don't worry about legal entities until you've done your 8th or 9th mobile home deal. Make sure that mobile homes are for you before you create a legal entity. On one hand, couldn't agree with that more. Maybe you live in a state where it's not cheap to create a legal entity. I'm in Oklahoma, and it costs like $150 to create an LLC. Did it all online, piece of cake, no big deal. Okay. The thing is that they just left it at that. I could not disagree more to just leave it at that. And I want to tell a story why this is wrong. Okay? So there's a lot of scenarios that we could go through, but I'm going to tell one that really happened as told by one of the gurus. Okay, this guru rents to people in Section 8. Okay, he loves it. He says they're not as picky as other renters, and the checks come directly from the government, so they're never late. Okay, makes sense. I'm not into renting. I want rent to own. Perfect. So anyway, he goes to tell a story about a friend of his who does Section 8. Okay? And the story is kind of horrific. Basically, the guy is renting to a Section 8. It's a woman, and she has a habit of going out for days on end and leaving her children alone in the home. And during one of these times when she was gone, the mobile home burnt to the ground and a 10-year-old child died in the mobile home. The father of the child was contacted by a lawyer, and the lawyer sent an intent to sue to the gentleman who was renting out the mobile home. Through just providence, we can say, depending on where you go, the story's a little different, but basically the guy asked for a video camera for Christmas from his wife and then never used it. And she was kind of throwing a fit. And so he recorded the Section 8 client going through the mobile home and commenting how nice the home was, how safe it was, and how happy she was to move in. He sent that videotape to his lawyer, who sent it to the shyster lawyer, and the shyster lawyer sent him a letter saying, hey, we're not suing you anymore. Okay, end of story. Well, yeah, you could do that, videotape everything, and it would be, fine. If you are, say that you want to do like Lonnie Scruggs says, and your goal is to purchase one mobile home a month for 3 years. Basically what it is that you're going to buy a mobile home every month and space them out to be paid off in like 3 years, okay? So you're going to get 36 checks every month. And that is going to be your slush fund, okay? Pretty good slush fund. Alrighty. The thing is that if you were to do that and your thing was that you weren't going to get a mobile home, anything to protect you until you had 8 or 9 done. And on the 7th one, that horrific thing happened and you didn't think to record it on a video camera. That is a terrible thing to happen to a child. We wouldn't want that to happen to a human being. But it's not your fault. And they shouldn't have the right to seize your other 6 mobile homes and everything that you own because this woman abandoned her child. Okay? At the very least, for a minimal cost, you can put your mobile homes into what's called a personal property trust. And if you want to really do it right, go see a lawyer that's good with trust and explain that you want a personal property trust and you want a cookie cutter type thing so that as you purchase mobile homes, you can put them into a trust, their own trust. That way, if God forbid, you should have a situation to where you have a rent to own and it's a woman like that that was leaving her children unattended for days on end. You wouldn't know that, but that's what she was doing. And the mobile home burned to the ground with a child inside. If the father of the child came to sue you, what would happen is that when they did their search, it turned out that the trust is the owner of the mobile home, not you. So they couldn't come after you. And the trust is a non-entity. Okay, you're the, you could be the trustee, but I wouldn't recommend it. You could have somebody else as a trustee, like your LLC, and you are the beneficiary for the trust. Okay? So what would happen is whenever the lease to own payment was made, the rent to own payment for this mobile home, it would go into the banking account of the trust, and then the trust would give you a check because you're the beneficiary. That's what they do. All right? And when the Shyster lawyer came to seize the assets for the trust, they'd see that the only assets the trust had was the balance of the bank account, however much that was, and the insurance for the mobile home. That's it. That couple of $100 that you spent to get the trust, which by the way, you rolled into the cost of the mobile home when you went to sell it to purchase, rent own. That little bit of extra work kept your other 6 mobile homes safe. It's that simple. Okay, so yeah, you don't have to have your LLC. You don't have to start a Series S corporation. Maybe you're big enough and your thing is that you want a full-on corporation because you've got a child or a family member that needs medical care. You don't have to do that yet. If you don't have the money for it and you're in one of those states where it's real expensive to create a legal entity like that, you want to put it off as long as you can, you want the income from the mobile homes to pay for that, by all means do that. Go ahead, wait. But protect yourself. We do these things not because we are fraudulent. We do them for safety for us. We want everybody to be good, honest people. And we want to be good, honest people. But we want to protect ourselves from people who aren't good, honest people. And Shyster lawyers kind of shy away from that description. Okay? Just saying. Now, there is one thing I want to say. Mike Butler has a program called the Vehicle Trust, and it's like $74, and it's fantastic. I'll put the link at the bottom of the show notes. It's $74. He's got this cookie cutter program, and you just fill in the information, have it notarized. You're going to take it to the DMV, have it record and all that stuff. And the DMV is going to notice that this trust is the owner of the mobile home that you're working for somebody else to rent to own. Okay? Pretty cheap. The thing is, he in his description, he had his YouTube channel, which is how I found it, tells people, use the address as the name of the trust. Don't do that. I see lots of lawyers telling people to do that. Don't. There's also a lot of people that tell you don't use trust. Trust are good if you use them correctly, and this is a correct way to use them. Okay? Especially for personal property. Okay? The deal is that when you go to create the name of the trust, you want it something that's not going to come up during a document search for that piece of property, so to speak. The deal is that, like, when a Shyster lawyer gets somebody that comes in, Okay, and they agree to kind of take the case. The first thing they're going to do is a document search, public records, and if your personal property, if the name of the personal property is the same address as the property itself, if your personal property trust is the same name as the same property, they're going to find that right away. Okay? But if you have your trust named something ambiguous, they may not link it. And shyster lawyers aren't famous for doing their due diligence. Some of them are, but most of them aren't. When they do just a document search and they come up with the Desk Manufacturers Union of Omaha, okay, the first thing they're going to be going, when they're going through the list, they're going to bounce over that name because it doesn't have anything to do with where they're looking. Okay, if they do a title search to see who actually owns the mobile home, that's where they see the trust. Okay, so then the first thing that goes through their mind, and I can talk from experience with a situation that I know about, is that if you give it a menacing enough name, I mean something like the London Steelworkers Union, they're kind of think in the back of their head, these are people with very deep pockets and they're not going to pay out. And they'll tell the person that's suing, you have to pay me up front. People who don't have any money can't pay up front. And they're going to drop it. If it goes a little deeper than that, which it can, they're going to find out that the trust name has nothing to do with the young London Steelworkers. And they're going to find out the total assets of the trust. And we'll say that I'm the one who's running this trust. I'm pretty good about having my trust send me a check. Every time rent comes in, boom, money comes to me. It doesn't sit in the bank account. The minimum balance that I'm supposed to have does. The only time that doesn't happen is if I'm not in town. Okay, so we'll say it happened to me, God forbid. All right, and the example I want to use is if these guys are saying that, wait until you've got 8 or 9 mobile homes, on your 7th mobile home, this happens to you. They're going to take all your properties and everything that you own. You're going to be dead to the world. You're going to have to start over from scratch. I would not wish that on you. Okay? If, on the other hand, they went and came after, we'll say that it was me, again. Okay, it's my 7th mobile home. And they come after this trust. When they see that the name of the trust is who owns the mobile home, they're going to want the assets of the trust. And they're going to have, we'll say I've been lazy. So they've got like 3 months worth of payments. And the insurance for the trust. That's it. They can't come after me because I'm a beneficiary. Okay? They can't come after my other 6 properties because they're not in the same trust. Each trust cost me a couple $100 to set up. Each one of those, that little tiny extra, and each one of the cost of the trust, I rolled over into the sale of the mobile home. So it's nothing I'm paying out of pocket. Okay? It's simple. It's easy to do. You will come across some people that will tell you not to use trust. Normally it's because they're being used incorrectly. Learn how to use them. Do your due diligence. Talk to a lawyer the first time you do one. At the very least, purchase Mike Butler's program, download it, and then take it to a lawyer and have them look it over it. Take it to a paralegal, somebody that's not going to cost you an arm and a leg. And just so that you've got that peace of mind. Trusts are a little different in every state. Once you've got it right, though, it's a pretty easy deal. And the thing is that, I know I've got a good friend of mine that's a paralegal. When something like that comes up, she's the one who notarizes it. Okay? So that's just something that I wanted to run past you. I really wanted to do this to where I was giving you like each step of the mobile home investing on the way, but this is something that came up and I was just like, oh crap. I could not disagree with this more. I know I've been a little long-winded, I apologize. However, this is Wade, that mobile home guy. And again, coming to you from the other side of the stop sign where pizza delivery fears to go. Have a great day.